And it's time once again for HTBL Baseball. In the timeline of the game, we are April 10th. And we're going to bring you our fifth game here on the HTBL, Big Paulie's World of Sports Sim channel. Hi, everybody. I'm Big Paulie, just in case you didn't know. We're going to bring you a game with St. Louis and Houston playing in the American League Midwest Division. And we'll talk about a little bit more about all of that. But after we get through the summary of the games we played after our last episode, where Cincinnati came from behind and beat Atlanta 6-4. In other games, it was Baltimore over Boston 11-5, Rucker over Marbury, Werber with a big game 3 for 5, a homer and 2 ribbies. Played this game out because I'm playing all the Tampa Bay games. Tampa Bay 9-8 over the New York Yankees. And I will tell you this, Tampa Bay had a 9-1 lead going into the ninth. James Shields pitched 8 good innings. So I brought Joe Kennedy in to try to close it out in the ninth. And New York, before you could blink, got 7 runs. Grant Balfour came in, saved the day, but only when Babe Ruth, who had hit twice in the bottom of the ninth, got caught stealing second base. It was Shields over Guidry. David Big Papi Ortiz, who plays for the Rays. I got him in the free agent draft. Everybody picked 40 because Boston didn't pick him. Big Papi went 3 for 5 for me, 2 homers and 2 RBIs, both solo shots. Toronto over the White Sox, 6-2. Key over Faber, and Minoso went 3 for 4 in a losing effort for the White Sox, a double and a stolen base. Cleveland over Detroit, 11-2. Stan Kovaleski over Bridges. Speaker went 3 for 4 in a stolen base. Kansas City, who is tied for St. Louis in the lead early in the AL Midwest. They beat Minnesota 6-4 and 12. Jackson over Nathan. Beltre went 3 for 5, a homer, and 3 ribbies. The Browns, surprising everybody, St. Louis, they beat Houston 2-0. We'll have that game for you in just a few minutes. Went 10 innings. Howell over Lidge. McManus 1 for 3 and 2 stolen bases. The Angels over the A's 7-3 and 12. Rodriguez over Hunter. Fergosi went 3 for 4 and a double. The Phillies over the Mets 10-1. Carlton over Cone. Hamilton 3 for 4, 5 stolen bases. Miami beats Washington 5-3 to get their first win of the year. Burnett over Taylor. Matthews 2 for 3, a homer and 2 ribbies. Atlanta, you saw this game on our last episode. They lost to Cincinnati 6-4. Murphy went 2 for 4, 2 homers. It was Tony over Garber. Garber got credit for the loss on that, even though Tom Glavine started for the Braves. Pittsburgh over Montreal 6-5 and 12. Kent Tekulve with his glasses against John Wetterlin. He took the loss. Grantham 1 for 2 with stolen bases, 4 walks. Milwaukee defeats St. Louis 10-9. Burke over McDaniel. Berger 3 for 5. He hit his 3rd home run. He's leading both leagues right now with 3, and he picked up 4 ribbies. Colorado in Denver defeats the Cubs 10-6. Grimes over Rush. Anson goes 4 for 5 in a losing effort for the Cubbies. Texas over Seattle. They both came in 3-0, but Texas prevails 7-3. It was HOU over Moore. Franco 2 for 5, a homer and 3 ribbies. Julio Franco. San Diego beat Arizona 4-3. It was Bennis over Webb. Davis 2 for 4, a homer and 2 ribbies. Finally, the Dodgers over the Giants 4-3. Messersmith over Sanford, and Steve Sachs went 3 for 4, a homer and 2 ribbies. So that brings us to today's game. It's going to be in Houston at Minute Maid Field. St. Louis battling Houston. I will play as Houston. And we are at Minute Maid Park. We use all 2020 parks and all park factors for 2020 with the exception of Minnesota. I'm not Minnesota, but Montreal. We use Olympic Stadium, their last home. We used the 2000 park factors. And St. Louis is Sportsman Field for the Browns because they're no longer in existence. We used their 1944 Sportsman's Park. So I'll set up the lineup for Houston, and we'll talk about the lineups as we move on. Each team has 40 of its own franchise players, and then there was a 10-round draft after that. Eddie Plank's going to start for Houston. This is the sort of thing that can happen in the HTBL. And we're all set up. For St. Louis, Sizzler leads off at first. Tobin plays right field. Williams is in left. Baby Doll Jacobson is the center fielder. Stevens shortstop. Farrell at catcher. Sullivan is the DH. We use the DH in the HTBL. They give a lot of your favorite players a little more at batting time. Clift is at third base. Shane Deese is your second baseman. I know Shane Deese was a Cardinal, but he was picked up by the Browns. And Bobo Newsom is your starting pitcher for St. Louis, for the Browns of St. Louis. We also have the Cardinals of St. Louis, of course. For Houston, Cruz is a 7 at left field and a 4 arm. Wynn, a 6 and a 7 at center. Poole, 5 and a 6 in right. Caminiti is a 7 at third. Thawne, a 7 at short. Biggio, also a 7 at second base. And Bagwell, a 6 at first base. Edwards catching, he is an 8 with an arm of 6, and Plank pitches and has a rating of 3 defensively. So Sizzler steps up, and we're going to get this game started. First at bat is a fly. Biggio underneath it. The picture of Minute Maid Park is old because it still has the slope in center field, as you might be noticing. Tobin steps in. He's 429 so far on the year, no homer and a ribby. By the way, didn't give you Sizzler's stats, so let me come back and give you that. He now is at 350, and I'm trying to see here what his homers and ribbies total is. No homers, 4 ribbies. Okay, I think that is correct. So Tobin stepping in. Here's the pitch to him from Plank. Grounded to short. And looked like Thawne had trouble with the handle. He was going to be charged with an error. And Tobin is on first base, bringing up Ken Williams. 214 so far in the year, and just 1 ribby to his name. The deal, it's a strike 3. First strikeout of the game for Eddie Plank. This is his second start, so total so far he's 7 1/3, counting the 2 outs he's gotten now, giving up 6 hits. 1 walk, 2 strikeouts. His ERA is 2.45. His opponent's batting average is 200. And the whip on him is 9.55. Bringing up Baby Doll Jacobson, 313 on the year. 2 homers, 3 ribbies. That's going to be foul, I think. Foul ball it is. And the count 2-2 to Baby Doll Jacobson. That's hit to left center. Wynn with the putout. And St. Louis is out of the first inning. Bobo Newsom gets the start for St. Louis. This is his second start. He went 3 innings last time out. Gave up 6 hits, a homer, 2 walks, 2 Ks. His ERA is 15. His whip is 2.667, and the opponent's batting average is 400. Greg Biggio gets it started for Houston. 412, no homers, 2 ribbies, and 1 stolen base so far this year. Biggio hits a grounder to Stevens over to first for the first putout of the game for St. Louis. Here's Jose Cruz, I beg your pardon, 294, 1 ribby. His OPS 686. Ball 4, he'll take his base. Newsom, his expected pitch count 135, and that is also Plank's EPC for today. That brings up Jeff Bagwell. Cruz can run, so let's try it. Oh, he's out. He's out at second base. I forgot to give the defensive lineup for St. Louis, so let's take care of that now. Williams, a 6 and a 6 in left field. Jacobson is a 6 and a 4 in center. Tobin, a 5 and a 7 in right. Clift is a 7 at third. Stevens, a 5 at short. Shane Dietz, I'm going to have to look him up because his name's too long. He's a 7 at second base. Sisler is a 7 at first. He could also pitch if needed. Rick Farrell, a 7 and a 6 catching. Newsom is a 5 defensively as a pitcher. Here's Bagwell, 2 outs. And that makes it 3 as Newsom strikes out Jeff Bagwell. So we've played a scoreless inning. We now go to the second, and Vern Stevens, 188 so far on the year. No homers, no ribbies. Has scored 1 run, has grounded into a double play. His OPS only 528. That's a strikeout for Plank, who now has 2 on the day, 3 on the season. Rick Farrell, who we were just talking about a moment ago, comes up 375, 2 ribbies. Right to Caminiti for the out, and it's 2 outs for the Browns in the second. Sullivan now up. That's a base hit to center. Wynn picks it up, and Sullivan aboard. Harlan Clift. Clift is now 625, 5 for 8. I don't think I gave you the stats on Sullivan, so let's go back and do that. He's hitting 250 with that base hit just now. No homers, no ribbies. So you know everything there is to know. Clift waits the pitch from Plank. Right to Thon for the putout. So St. Louis can't get anything going. In the second, we go to the bottom of the second, no score. Jim Wynn, 176. On my Big Polly's World of Sports Sims Facebook channel, I posted a couple of days ago the home run Jim Wynn hit in the 60s at Crosley Field that went past the scoreboard at Crosley Field and on to Interstate 75. That was from the Davenport Sports Network. Here's the pitch to Wynn. Lifted to left, but Williams is there for the putout. 1 gone. Ken Caminiti, 278, a homer and 3 ribbies. Grounder to first base, Sisler, unassisted, 2 outs. That brings up Terry Poole. Poole, 250 on the year. The pitch to him. Stevens, did he get him? He did. So that retires the side for Houston in the second. We go back to St. Louis batting in the third. No score. 2 men left on base for St. Louis, and Houston has yet to put anybody on base, I do believe. Shane Dietz up for the Browns, 250, 1 RBI on the year, and that's it. OPS of 625. Plank is at 31 pitches. Shane Dietz hits this to left. Cruz gets to it, 1 out. And with that, your new hitter is George Sisler. As we go back to the top of the order, he's 0 for 1 on the day. A foul ball. Looks like he was trying to bunt. Count 0-2. I think he'll try another stratagem. He does, and it's a line drive to Biggio for the second out of the St. Louis third. Tobin now up. He is 0 for 1 on the day as well. Fly to center. Win underneath it. He makes a great catch in center. So St. Louis out of the third. We go back to Houston. No score. Kevin Bass, who famously hit a home run to retie Game 6 of the 1986 World Series, a game that went 16 and for many years was the longest extra inning game in postseason history. I think that has since been eclipsed. I think Atlanta and Houston, back when Houston was in the National League, had a longer game going 18. And I think Washington and San Francisco had a game of about that length a few years ago. Bass, 0-63 on the year. He's only 1 for 16, but he's got 3 ribbies. Must have had quite a hit. Base hit to center. Bass aboard. He will go for second, and he's out. Bass tried to to go for second base was taking advantage of Jacobson and his weak arm, but Jacobson fired it in, and Bass is out trying to advance to second. He'll get credit for a single. Edwards is your new hitter for Houston, 251. Now, 251 is his real-life average. He's 067, no homers, no ribbies so far. Newsom at 23 pitches. He's pitching well. Sisler unassisted, 2 outs. That was the first hit of the game, by the way, for the Astros. Here comes Dickie Thon. Dickie Thon is the 9-hitter, so if Bobo can get out of this, he will have faced the minimum number of possible batters at 9. Thon, 154 on the year, no homers, no ribbies. Famous for being drilled in the face at some point in the 80s. I think it was against the Mets. Ball 4, Thon aboard. Second walk of the day for Newsom. He's at 4 so far this season to go along with his 3 overall Ks. He's struck out 1 and walked 2 in this game. Back to Biggio, and Biggio is 0 for 1 on the day. Grounder, base hit to right. And this time Thon advances to third with ease, not getting a throw from Tobin. Cruz back up. Walked the first time he had a plate appearance in the first. With runners at the corners, I'm not going to try to use Biggio to steal. This is the Jacobson put out made. Wouldn't have mattered. After 3, no score. We go to the 4th. Ken Williams back up for the Browns. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Plank at 38 pitches. Struck him out. Bringing up Baby Doll Jacobson. 294 on the season. 0 for 1 today. Biggio, Bagwell, 2 outs. Stevens up again for St. Louis, 0 for 1. He'd go on and have some great years with the Boston Red Sox. Grounder, base hit to right. Poole picks it up and holds Stevens to a single. Rick Farrell, your new hitter. 0 for 1 on the day so far. 0-2-1 for St. Louis, 0-2-1 for Houston as well. Grounder to short. Fox, Biggio for the force, and St. Louis out in the 4th. We go to the bottom of the 4th, no score. Bagwell now up for Houston. 0 for 1 so far today, hitting 200. That's a strikeout. Newsom with his second of the day, 4 overall this year. Jim Wynn back up, 0 for 1. Hit well to left. Williams gets to it, though, on the warning track. 2 outs now. Bringing up Ken Caminiti. He's 0 for 1. Fly to right center. Bounces off the wall, and that's extra bases for Caminiti. Caminiti, a 65% chance of getting to third. You don't want to make an out at third, though. We'll keep him at second. Poole now up. He's 0 for 1 on the day. Hit on the ground to second. Shane Deese to Sisler, and that's it for Houston in the 4th. No score. We go to the top of inning 5. Plank working to Sullivan. Plank at 54 pitches through 4 innings. Sullivan 1 for 1 on the day. Line drive to right field. It bounces in front of Poole for a base hit. A runner at first for the Browns. And here comes Harlan Clift, 0 for 1 on the day. Fly to center. Not Williams, but Wynn with the put out. And there's 1 out in the St. Louis 5th. Shane Deese, as we go back down to the bottom of the order already, he's 0 for 1 on the day, hitting .222 this season. Wynn catches it. Looked like the Brownies had a hit and run on. So we're back to Sisler, 0 for 2 on the day. Grounder to short. Thon tries for the out at first. He's safe. Sisler aboard. And there's 2 on and 2 out for the Brownies in the 5th. Jack Tobin, 0 for 2 so far, but a hit here would be crucial. Ball 4, and that keeps the inning alive for the Browns. And they go to one of their better hitters in their franchise's history, Ken Williams, 0 for 2 on the day. Plank now up to 72 pitches, having a little trouble getting through the fifth. Base hit. That's going to score at least 1 run. It's going to be 3, actually. That went to the wall. Sullivan, Sizzler, and Tobin all score. Williams gets a stand-up triple. 3-0. The Brownies lead. We'll look at that again. Didn't look like it was going to be trouble. It bounced in front of Poole. Poole probably couldn't handle it. Bounced off the wall, and a cannonade of runs come in for the Browns, and they are now up 3. Now, they got to stop the bleeding here and try to get Baby Doll Jacobson out. 0 for 2. That's hit well to right. Poole underneath it, and finally, the Browns are out of the fifth, but damage was done as they pick up 3. We go to the bottom of the fifth. It's a 3-0 St. Louis lead. We go to Kevin Bass. 1 for 1 on the day. And he struck out. 3 on the day for Bobo Newsom. Johnny Edwards now up. 063 on the season. He is 0 for 1 in the game. Hit the center, a base hit. He goes for second and gets a double. So Edwards in scoring position for Dickie Thon. Dickie hasn't had an official at bat because in the 3rd inning he walked. Newsom, that's going to be an out at first. And Edwards advanced to 3rd. Grounder in front of the catcher. Catcher threw it to first for the out. 2 outs in the 5th inning for Houston. Here's Craig Biggio, 1 for 2 on the day. Hit well to right center, but Tobin's going to get to it, and that's nothing for Houston in the 5th. Going into the 6th inning, it's 3-0 in favor of the Browns, who have Eddie Plank at 81 pitches. So that is 16 an inning. He can probably go 2 or 3 more safely, provided he doesn't get into trouble. Vern Stevens is up for the Browns, 1 for 2. Hit the left. Coming in is Cruz. He could not hold on to it, and Stevens is safe at second, and they rule that an error on Cruz. Farrell up, 0 for 2 on the day. So Plank not getting any help from his defense. Cruz makes this put out. Throw to third. That is trouble. Stevens comes in to score, and it's 4-0 in favor of the Browns. So Cruz with back-to-back errors on successive plays. Billy Sullivan, 2 for 2 on the day. Ball 4. So Plank in trouble. 93 pitches he is at. But he's having a rough outing in innings 5 and 6. Harlan Cliff, after a conference on the mound, gets the pitch. That's ball 4. That is the 4th walk today for Plank. The opposing batters for St. Louis making Eddie walk to Plank. Shane Deese up, 0 for 2. Grounder, first baseman, to the shortstop for 1, but that's all they can get. There's now 2 outs for George Sisler as St. Louis goes back to the top of the order. He's 1 for 3, hitting .364. To short, and that is caught in the air by Biggio for the 3rd out. So St. Louis padding their lead. It's now 4-0. Houston back up. Cruz in left field. They're going to stay with him despite the errors he has, and Cruz is on board. His stolen base odds here 71%, but with a 4-0 deficit, I really don't want to try it. Bagwell up, 0 for 2. And that's a foul ball. Hit the mask of Rick Farrell. I'll try again. And that is a line drive out. Caught by Ken Williams in left. First out of the inning for Houston in inning 6. Wynn now up as they do a calling card throw to first. Cruz is safe. Back to Wynn. Hit the left. Williams with the put out. 2 outs now. And I can advance, but I'm not going to. So we're just going to keep Cruz where he is. Ken Caminiti, the last chance for Houston this inning. Fly to center. Jacobson should get to that, and he does. Made a great play, actually. We've played 6. It's 4-0 visiting team. So the St. Louis Browns at 3-1 coming into this game. Houston 1-3. By the way, the roof was open at Minute Maid Park, 74 degrees, wind of 2 miles an hour in from right. So they did open up the roof. There was not indoor conditions at Minute Maid Park in this game. Tobin back up, 0 for 2 for him. Coming into this at bat, hit well to left. Cruz at the track making the putout, 1 gone. Plank at 110 pitches. His EPC, as we've been saying, 135. Williams up. Hit the center. Win. 2 outs. Jacobson. Last chance for St. Louis before we do a little singing at the 7th inning stretch, which is 1 out away. Grounder to first, and that's going to be unassisted. Take me out to the ball game time, everybody. And we're back. Big Paulie with you as we go to the bottom of the 7th. It's in all St. Louis so far with a 4-0 lead. Terry Poole comes up for Houston. He is 0 for 2 on the day. Hit well to right, but Tobin won't get to it. A foul ball. Count 0-2 to Terry Poole. Hit the center. Jacobson should get to that. He does. Bobo Newsom pitching very well for Houston. Not for Houston, but for St. Louis. 93 pitches, and he's retired already, 19. Man, he's held Houston to 4 hits so far. Houston with that ugly box score of 0-4-3 at this point in the game. Kevin Bass, 1 for 2. He strikes out. That is 4 on the day for Bobo. That brings up Johnny Edwards in the bottom of the 7th as the last chance for the Astros to get something going here. That's a base hit. He'll try for second. He gets it. A double for Edwards. Dickie Thon, their number 9 hitter, trying to keep the rally alive for Houston. He struck out. So Houston again thwarted on the board. We go to the 8th. It's 4-0 Browns. Vern Stevens back up, 1 for 3 on the day. Plank said to be strong, could probably pitch another inning. He struck out. Stevens, 1 out, 8th inning. Rick Farrell now up. Hit to left. Caminiti, can he get to it? No, foul ball. Count moves to 1-2. Farrell, a grounder to Biggio over to first. Bagwell gets them. And that will be the 2nd out. Up now, Eddie Sullivan, 2 for 2 on the day. Billy Sullivan, I beg your pardon. Thinking of a professional wrestler in the 70s by the name of Eddie Sullivan. And if any of you listen to Charting the Territories, a podcast that's done by Al Getz, who I follow on Twitter, he recently had a brief episode, like a mini episode, about how in the 70s at one point there were 3 guys wrestling under the name of Eddie Sullivan. So there you go. That's probably why it was on my mind. Charting the Territories, one of those Arcadian Vanguard podcasts Brian Last does. It's very, very good. Harlan Clift up 0 for 2 on the day. 2 outs in the Browns' 8th. Struck him out. They'll probably do it for Plank, as I think on that he went over the 135 pitch mark. Yeah, he's at 137, so that'll probably be the last inning I give him. Craig Biggio up, top of the order for Houston in the 8th. Let's see if they can get something going here as they trail 4-0. It hits him. Biggio on board with the old HBP. And I don't want to do any stolen bases here, down 4. Cruz now up. He's 0 for 1 on the day. He has walked in the first, flied to shallow left center in the third, walked again in the 6th. Grounder, Stevens, gets the out at first, moving Biggio to second. Bagwell up, 0 for 3 on the day. Newsom's at 113. He could probably go the distance and get a complete game shutout if things stay the way they are. Ball 4, Bagwell on. The noose tightening a little bit for the St. Louis Browns and Bobo Newsom as Jim Wynn enters the game. Wynn 0 for 3 on the day. He gets on board with a walk. Kim Caminiti up in his 859 OPS. Do we have anybody who is a little better than Ken Caminiti? HOU is a 903. Berkman is 966. So we're going to do a little pinch hitting here. Lance Berkman, this is his first at bat of the season as I pull him off the bench. He's got a 966 OPS. And Caminiti is in the high 800s. Little conversation here. Here's the pitch to Berkman. Base hit. That's going to bring in 2. A single for Berkman. Plating 2, and it's 4-2. And now Newsom no longer has that shutout, but he could still get a complete game. Terry Poole up for Houston with 1 out in the 8th. He struck out. We go back to Kevin Bass. Bass a 738 36 OPS. He is in as the DH, so we could definitely bring somebody in for him. We're going to go with, at 903, Mr. HOU, Moises HOU, also known for being a Chicago Cub. And that fan that caught that foul ball in left field in, I think it was 03, who they pilloried for quite a long time. It was Moises HOU that stewed with that fan. But here he has a critical at bat, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th, and Houston trailing 4-2. Hit well to center. Well enough? No. Jacobson with the putout at the warning track. So Houston picking up 2, and we're going to have to do some lineup changes. At third, we could bring in Spires at 935 percentage. And that's what we're going to do. We're going to bring Chris Spires in. He'll take Berkman's spot in the lineup. And I want to have another pitcher in there other than Plank. So I'm thinking this over. It's going to be righty, lefty, lefty. And we don't want to bring in Wagner because I think Wagner is their closer. We're going to go Lidge. Brad Lidge is going to come in and relief pitch for Houston in St. Louis's 9th. They trail 4-2. Lidge pitched an inning already, gave up 3 hits. His whip is a 4. Ooh. And his opposing batting average is 5, and his ERA is 18. Well, nowhere to go but up. As Shandy steps in 0 for 3 as St. Louis tries to get something going in their 9th. There's a nice strikeout for Lidge. That might get some of his confidence back. 1 out. Back to the top of the order, and Georgie Sisler, who in real life, according to this historical collection and how the seasons were averaged, hits 361. He's 348 so far this season, 1 for 4 today. Base, no, it was stolen by Bagwell. Bagwell made a nice play to snag that line drive. Tobin now up 0 for 3. Fly to right, Poole, and St. Louis out of the 9th. So Houston needs 2 to tie, 3 to win. They just picked up 2 in the 8th. Can they keep it going? 4-2 as we head to the bottom of the 9th. Newsom staying in, even though he is at his EPC, expected pitch count. I don't know how long they'll stick with Bobo. whether or not he gets the complete game. Edwards up 2 for 3 on the day. Grounder, base hit. And a poor play by Tobin allows Edwards to advance to second. That's 3 doubles today for Edwards. They're going to give him credit for the double, no errors. As you see the milestone flash there in center field. Thon, 0 for 2 on the day, only hitting 133. Now this is another situation where you might just be better off bringing in a pinch hitter. So Thon is 691, and Dennis Menke is 739. We'll go with HOU, and we could put Menke in the game later, with his 742. So Art Howe comes in. He would be later a manager and was the manager on the Oakland A's in the early 2000s when that book Moneyball was written. And Billy Beane would always make moves around him or behind his back. Here's Howe. Lazy fly. I think Sisler gets to this one. He does, and there's one out. So Houston now down to 2 reserves, Farrell and Menke. Dennis Menke. Biggio up 1 for 3 on the day. See what happens with him. Right to Shane Dees, 2 outs. Last chance is going to be Jose Can't You See Cruz. A Bermanism for you all. 0 for 2. Or did we forget who Chris Berman is already? Jacobson, that does it for the game. He catches it in center. And the Brownies win again, 4-2. So let's go through the stats a little bit. Newsom did pick up the complete game win, 9 innings pitched, gave up 7 hits, 2 earned runs, walked 5, struck out 6 on 148 pitches. Plank, your loser. Newsom picked up his first win. Plank picked up his second loss. 8 innings pitched, 6 hits, 4 runs, 3 earned, 3 walks, and 5 Ks. MVP of the game would be Bobo Newsom. So there you go, folks. I will play out my Tampa Bay Rays game a little bit later. And I will come back at you in our next episode with a game from the NL Midwest, which is Milwaukee, Colorado, St. Louis, and Chicago. Don't know which game I'm going to do yet because Milwaukee is leading, but Colorado or St. Louis could tie them. So it'll either be Milwaukee, St. Louis, or Colorado, Chicago. I do not know yet. Hope you enjoyed this game. I know I'm kind of competing against myself tonight with a couple of wrestling episodes for you all, but I like doing these games, and it doesn't take too long. It takes about 35 to 40 minutes to do each and every one of them. This has been Big Paulie coming to you, wishing you well. Happy Father's Day to all you dads out there. Unfortunately, I am not. Godspeed and God bless. We'll do it all again soon, and bye-bye for now, everybody. Take care.